Do you want the debate or do you want these hands? Tell me what you want. Want these hands?
I'ma do something bad to you, 'cause I see your ass go. I'ma tussle with you. Hope you got it. I'ma do something bad.
Welcome back to the Catch These Hands podcast. This is episode 2. Hey, look, so I got to do the pre-recorded intros for this. Just because I didn't know how to do this when I started the podcast. So yeah, this is a new podcast, the Catch These Hands podcast on the I'm Kinda Famous Podcast Network. Of course, I'm your host, Lester Rowe, doing this again. The whole reason for this, man, I want to talk to these fighters. Let them talk to each other. It's a lot of personality out there with these fighters, man. And so I want to present that to y'all. But all the information is still the same, man. Catch These Hands podcast on the Kinda Famous Podcast Network on iTunes, Google Play Music, Google Music Play Store, whatever it is, Stitcher. Anywhere that you listen to podcasts, you can find the Catch These Hands podcast via the I'm Kinda Famous podcast. Man, I'm messing up. But the I'm Kinda Famous podcast, look for that on there. Arrow Films, arrowfilms.com. That's my personal website. Also, youtube.com/Arrow Films, AROWE Films. Find the Catch These Hands podcast playlist and enjoy that. First episode, we had Dave, the Caveman Rickles of Bellator, and we had Cody Carrillo. This week, we got two badass motherfuckers, man. Tyler Ingram, the Boogeyman, and Alex, Mr. Hyde McGowan. They're going to talk about their upcoming fights. And I don't know, let's start it right about now.
You know?
Two OGs.
Yeah.
Two OGs from the Wichita fight game.
Yeah, dude, like
Only if you would have had Dustin Blake, too.
from the Midwest. You know?
I forgot all about Dustin. I probably would have put you and Dustin together if I thought about it. But this is going to be good. I put Dustin. Who managed Dustin?
Nobody. He does his own thing.
Yeah.
I don't see how. I don't know. I'm one of the people, I probably want to do my own shit too, but at the same, like I told Dave, best thing about having a manager, you have someone that'll say no for you.
Yep.
Like I don't have to say no.
Yeah.
Tell them no. Man, we just gonna start talking. Like y'all already started talking.
What are we gonna talk about?
So both of y'all got fights. When's your fight?
October 28th, so 16 days.
16 days. I better get close to my own. I know when your fight is.
November 4th, brother.
All right, so November 4th. When is it again?
October 28th.
October 28th. Alex Mr. Hyde McGowan. November 4th, pro debut. Tyler Ingram?
Yeah.
How you feeling about that?
I feel great about it.
I need you to feel closer to that mic.
Yeah. How's this? Is this greater?
You're good.
Too close?
That's good right there.
The Baba Yaga.
It's been, I don't know. It's been, it was like 4 years. I took like a 4-year break as an AMI, which doesn't really matter. But, I don't know. I feel like I should have gone pro a while back, but I took a little different career path. So I'm really happy that I'm giving this a shot because it was always in the back of my head. Like, if I don't do it, then I'll never do it. Be too old.
What time did you take off?
When did I stop fighting?
Yeah.
2013 to, what was that, September this year? Yeah, that was the last fight. September this
September
year.
2nd, yeah.
It was like 2013 or 14.
Why'd
Because I
you
joined
stop?
the Air Force.
Oh, Air Force.
And then the job I was doing, I was like a special operations candidate, and they don't let you do anything outside of that because you're like, they're just like, we need you to be a killing machine, and you're worth mil.
Yeah, so they got too much money invested in you at that point in
Dude,
time.
the schools alone, like, it's like $300-400 a day just to feed you, house you,
How
clothe
much?
you. Like $300-400.
Okay.
I mean, and dude, like, you're,
A day?
yeah.
But
Think of
that's,
it.
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
But that's like, I don't
It's
know,
room and
steak.
board.
All right.
Yeah, it's whatever you want to eat, for sure.
I need to get my life together.
Well, then put it on this way: like you take a individual, and they go into just a basic training. It costs
a lot.
Yeah, it costs like the government $300,000 to $400,000 on that alone.
Now,
One guy.
now I gotta make sure I say everybody know both of y'all are military.
Yep.
Yep. U.S. Army Reserve. We got Air Force.
Air Force and the Army.
Yep.
Ain't y'all supposed to not like each other?
Yeah, I hate Alex.
Okay.
I hate him.
All right, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
UFC 8.
Yeah, secretly we have a deep hating passion towards each other. We just put on a front for everybody to make it look like that we like each other.
Yeah.
But is that a real thing?
No.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it comes down to the individuals.
It depends on where you're at. Depends on a lot of stuff. It depends on, like, if I'm, if you got like a young group of dudes at a big base of Army guys and they're acting a fool, then the Army guys are going to hate them because they just attract attention. It's all about laying low.
I can definitely agree with that. But like kind of one of those things, though, with both of us being fighters, we're very individualized. We don't sit there and categorize people in groups.
Yeah.
So we just kind of like go off of a individual basis, whether if I like you or not. So, I mean, you could be doing something that a lot of people hate, but I ain't going to judge you for it because I'm an individual. I'm a small part of a group myself. So
they say the Army people are the worst. I hear it all the time. Like they the most annoying. They the most hard headed, like children.
The Army. But
I wouldn't say most hard headed. Most Marines are the most hard headed, but yeah, we're pretty up there with being pretty stubborn too.
Everybody's got their pros and cons,
Yeah.
I hate when people call the Air Force the chair force. Yeah. Because they're like, all you guys do is sit down. And I'm like, bro, literally, I haven't seen a chair in 3 years.
Yeah.
Who's flying the plane? You don't fly planes standing up.
Yeah, I wish I'm an enlisted guy. I don't fly the planes. So that's where all the chairs are going. I guess they're going in the planes, but
each branch has their own badasses. Put it that way.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what? They all do the same job. It's like you all perform the same, accomplish the same goal.
Yeah, kill people.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. It got to be
best
done.
at it. And we're the best at it,
Now, I'd say your JTACs are some of the most badasses. Being able to do all
that.
that.
The Air Force JTACs are the best. Because that's like, they designed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you got, I'd say PJs are probably the most well-rounded Special Forces group just because they have so much training.
Yeah.
And then, but if I were to go back and do it all over, I would go SF immediately because those guys are like, you got the Navy SEALs. They're like, we killed Bin Laden, or you got this book about that and this movie about that. But dude, there's Delta dudes out there right now that you will never hear about the stuff they did because it is so intense. And they're like, I have a friend and his dad was like the top of the top of the food chain, Delta, then went on to do other stuff after that and actually gave his life while serving. And I guarantee you that guy, the stuff he did probably influenced like world history, like the people he took out or kept alive. You know what I mean? And that dude was a legitimate surgeon.
And you talking about people that got killed or murdered that we don't know about. Just on some low key.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be, right? Look at all the stuff happening in the world.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
You got a big target in North Korea. Can one of you two get the fuck over there, please?
Oh,
so we can get done talking about that.
Nah, dude, there's like tigers and shit in North Korea, man. I'm gonna. Haven't you seen the interview?
Tigers at Saber Zoo.
Yeah, but they run free. I mean, there's bears over there too. Don't get me wrong. I've always wanted to wrestle a bear. After seeing that UFC fighter, Hyde, wrestle a bear, it's like on my bucket list. I want to wrestle a bear.
Yeah.
Like, even if I die, fuck it. I get to wrestle a bear.
No, that's not how it works.
He said, no way.
I want to wrestle a bear. Yeah. Even if I die, it's a lot of things you have to live for, Alex. Just want you to know that.
Maybe not wrestling.
Maybe once when I'm like old and getting up there.
If you had to
go out with the bang, go out with the bang. I'm gonna be like early 70s.
They're like, you got 10 minutes to live. You can fight this blind deaf girl or this bear.
I'm going with the bear.
Now you got your pro debut. What makes you want to go pro debut? EFC what 7?
Yeah,
November 4th.
Yeah, I want to get paid, man. I love this stuff, brother. I mean, it's like, hey, find whatever it is you're best at and put it in a box and sell it, and you'll never work a day in your life, right?
I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
Sell
like,
dope.
I
weed.
guess if you really love that, you know. But that's like I really don't see myself doing anything else in my life. You know.
Now, how did you feel about your last fight?
I felt pretty darn good about it because that dude was a tank.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had a scrap, man, but I feel like I broke his will, and it was like I was like, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, have a lot of rust to knock off. A lot, you know.
Was that your first fight back?
In 4 years? Yeah, 4.5 years. And
That was a good fight, man.
right? It came right back. It came right back, man, against a really, really game opponent. Great wrestler. I think he was a redshirt freshman out of Indiana.
Something like that.
Yeah, he was. I don't know. I heard All-American. I heard maybe not All-American, but super strong, tough dude. Good cardio, and it came down to power of will.
Did you watch? Did you see the fight?
No, I was backstage warming up. I heard about it. I had people tell me about it the entire time while I was warming up, but I was not able to watch it. What?
He was 7 foot tall.
Yeah, he's like
and
that.
Had 4 arms.
He was your Tommy
part
Morrison,
bear.
Chris.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be on Cageside Part
I
2.
know, man.
So,
I'm stoked.
so yeah,
I'm
it's gonna be
stoked to
good.
see
It's
it,
gonna be
man.
good. I've already watched it, so I know
Yeah?
what it looks like.
Is there a lot?
I
Is there a
shot
lot
it.
of me getting cracked in the head? I got a pretty good cut.
It was a
little
brutal
strong.
fight all around.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point I did forget it was an amateur fight because you don't ever see the amateurs fight
Like that.
at that level.
Yep.
So I was impressed.
And that's what I told Dave. I was like, yo, man, I was like, give me, I straight up told him, I want a war. Give me like an absolute war, because if this is my first fight back, and because he was like, hey, man, it makes sense for you to go pro, the way you're training, the way you feel in training. I said, we tried to work it out. It didn't work out. Guys were falling through. And then he was like, look, take this fight. I was like, all right, give me like an absolute war. So we went and found this undefeated animal from Colorado, and his O had to go.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's-
not only like an animal, but with Peter Straub, like he was coming from a legit camp,
Yeah.
and you come back and want to basically kill yourself. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I kind of felt like we were kind of talking about his fight, and we always felt like it was just two pros that decided just to fight as amateur one last time.
Yeah, let's do it for free. Come on.
Did he go pro too? Did we know?
I'm assuming he's right on the edge. I mean, being 6-0.
He's going pro. He's 7-1 now.
Oh, is he 7-1?
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
I was 6-1 going into that.
Okay.
So now I'm 7-1, but yeah, I'm pretty sure his next fight is gonna be pro. It should be. He's good.
Yeah,
you know?
you two were
he
basically
would
two
crack
pros
some
just fighting
fools,
3-minute
man.
rounds.
He would crack. If I didn't shut down his ground game, like I'd have been in for a real long night.
Yeah.
Real long night, because he had lunch boxes for hands. And when he was on top of me, I was like, oh, all right, I'm good. Ate a couple shots, and then like number 4 hit, and I was like, whoa, dude. It was like,
Gotta move, gotta move.
and my ears are ringing. I was like, okay, let's go. Like there's a picture of me pushing off the cage, and I was like, I can see the look on my face. I'm like, get the hell out of here, run.
It really was one of those things. Like, because one thing I look at, and what I see a lot from Zerger fighters, especially ones who fight really well, with the exception of Top, their eyes always stay kind of laser on their opponent, and you can always see how they feel based on their eyes. So yeah, I mean, so for me, when I go look at that, and I got the camera, and I'm trying to get your eyes as well. Like, it's these moments where you like, oh shit, he's got him. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
coming back, going
Yeah,
the other way.
yeah.
So that's like an impressive thing to me to see when, like, because it's so much emotion involved, and as the fans, they're just cheering. It's blood sport. But like, I know for fighters, and then for me watching it, sometimes it's like I like to see the fighters thinking inside the cage and trying to be strategic. Now, to Alex, you had a fight against LJ Hemrick. How did that fight happen?
Yeah, you know, I knew LJ was going to be tough as hell going into it. I felt like that it was a pretty dominant win just all around through. I controlled the pace. I controlled the center of the cage. I landed all the counter strikes. That first round, he had some good moments, and then I got a big takedown. took his back, landed some good ground pound, almost sunk in a rear naked choke. He was able to fight that off, ended up going in the second round. But going after that,
what the fuck, man? How did you just remember all this?
Yeah.
Hey, I got a good memory. You know? And plus, too, I kind of went back and
stepped on his toe. I countered that with uppercut.
But yeah, like he had a different game plan than what we originally thought. After watching some film on him, he always kind of bum rushed his guys and went straight forward and pushed a lot of his strikes. And he didn't do that fight. He sat back and was waiting for me to come to him. So that's when I decided just in the second round that I would creep forward, but I'm not going to be so aggressive that I'm getting hit with shots left and right. I wanted to push, be aggressive enough where in the judges' minds that I was controlling the center of the cage, which I was dictating the pace, but I'd make him commit to coming in and throwing a punch or two, and that's when I would be countering with my own strikes.
Did you see this fight?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I think exactly like you said. I think he knew that if he was going to bum rush and use like that kind of aggression, like you said, like Alex looks strong, but then like he feels even stronger. Like a dude shouldn't be that strong, shouldn't have that hard of a hook or overhand for 145. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there's really strong dudes at 145. But as like a bigger guy, even when I was over 200, I was like, damn, dude, this dude's cracks. You know, and I guarantee you he felt that. And then it was, all right, I need to score and win the rounds. And Alex played it smart, like you said, because your counterpunching, your timing on your counterpunches is really good, you know? And, he kind of, I think LJ ran into a roadblock there because it was like the best he could do is like, you know, maybe get 50-50 out of the round, not get that 51 where you were like relaxed, you're creeping forward like you said, he's not putting you in danger.
Yeah.
And you're picking your shots, you know? And I think you just looked like super, super composed. And even between rounds, you were like, you know, slow, you know, looked like your heart rate was slow.
Yeah.
Your face, you weren't like worked up. You know what I mean? You weren't, it was like almost just like a sparring match. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not that you didn't perform well, but I'm saying you were just there like, oh, time to go to work, you know?
But, all right, we talked about this before. So, do you think that, did it surprise you, other than like him changing his technique, was there anything else about how he fought that surprised you at all?
Not really. I mean, I'd definitely say that he used a lot more lateral movement than I thought he was going to, because I mean he was all over the place going left and right. Like I did not think that he was going to be doing that at all.
Now, why did you think he fought the way he fought against you?
Exactly as Ty said, I know I cracked him hard a couple of good times, and I don't think he wanted to stand right in the pocket with me.
Yeah, the pocket was a bad place for him.
Yeah, because I mean that's one of the best places because I got short little T-Rex arms, man.
You whip him.
Whenever I get in that pocket, I'm gonna let you know that I'm there, and we're gonna be exchanging. So
yeah.
And see, I looked at it, and LJ did fight he almost had a totally different demeanor than I'm used to seeing him after seeing him. I don't know, 3 or 4 fights or whatever between EFC and Bellator. So I thought it was a great matchup, but I think I shouldn't say between the balance that both of you guys were fighting, it did come off a lot more like sparring because LJ wasn't fighting the way he was fighting, and it looked like you were trying to bait him into making like a move, setting up counters basically.
Yeah.
And that's not what we're used to seeing from both of y'all. So it was like we really was waiting for. I was waiting for more of the wrestling to happen. Like either you being more the aggressor than an LJ trying, because LJ usually in most fights he always looks like he's losing, and then somehow he ends up whipping something.
Yeah, he gets in a scramble. He gets in a scramble and comes out on top and locks in a submission from scramble. That's one of the things that I wholeheartedly believe is the best opportunity to be able to capitalize on submissions is during a scramble, because during a scramble, you have a fighter who is half offense, half defense. Now, if you get in a dominant position, they go in straight defensive mode. It's real hard to whip off a submission when they're in all defense and nice and tight and compact.
That's all they're worried about.
Yeah,
they're not
all they're
giving
looking
up
about. All they're
anything,
worried about is
making a
the
mistake.
defending from the strikes and defending from submissions. However, if you're in the middle of a scramble, in their mind, they're thinking like, "Hey, I have an opportunity to be able to reverse this." If you're good on being able to capitalize on the scrambles and throwing those submissions just out of nowhere, you can catch a guy off guard and not in full defensive mode, and you can catch him with a slick armbar, triangle choke, or a guillotine, or any of those.
Now, were you trying to avoid that?
No, that's something that I was wanting. But again, like, he didn't push forward the way I thought he was going to. So you said it perfectly. Like, I was trying to bait him to coming in, but he would come in, throw one strike, and step right back out. That I wasn't expecting that out of him. Like, Andy and I were talking about the entire training camp for it. Like, hey, he's going to try bum rushing you. Like, we even thought he was going to do that at the beginning of the third round. That he was going to bum rush and push forward and try to clinch up or something. And again, he stuck to his game plan.
So, seeing that, how do you then adjust? Like, do you just say, "I'm just gonna wait"? Or...
Yeah, it was one of those things that, like, after the second round, I literally went back to my corner and just told Dustin and Steven and Andy, was like, hey, it's like, I feel like I'm up 2 rounds to none. I'm just going to sit back, counter-strike, and just work on some of the counter-striking we've been working on. It's like, more ring time that I have, the better it is going to be for me, because now I got a huge fight upcoming in a couple weeks, and being more comfortable and more composed in there was just going to benefit me in my upcoming fights. So they were not upset with that decision at all. I mean, like, of course, yeah, we always want to finish. Like, we always train for the finish, but we also prepare our bodies to be able to go the distance as well.
Now, Andy is a striking coach. He's a lot about having guys fight forward. With you, to me, what I see is a person who like the, I'm gonna say, wrestle, and then once you dominate, then you open up these bigger strikes.
Yeah.
Does standing up intimidate you at all? I mean, and do you try to avoid standing up as much as you can because you have a larger strength doing this other thing?
No, it's one of those things that just more ring time I get, more comfortable I'm going to be just thrown. Like, you can be the best fighter in the world in the gym. It's a completely different animal when you're actually out there in the cage.
Just
so
close up.
It was just one of those things that I knew I needed to get a little bit more ring time experience, just being in there, throwing the stuff that Andy and I are working on. Because I've had so many fights where I just buzzsaw through people. I mean, I didn't have a chance to work on anything that we've been working on except for in sparring. And again, like, it's a different feel when you have no shin pads and you got these little 4-ounce gloves on, and you're actually got your adrenaline pumped up and you're throwing with heat. Because obviously in the gym, like, yeah, we have our hard sparring days, but we're not there like trying to knock each other out where you're out.
You don't have the adrenaline dump. You don't have the, the weight cut. You don't have.
Who's the worst person to train with in the gym?
Like, worse than how it in what way?
And frustrating when
kicks the most ass.
I would say the most frustrating guy, hands down, would be Chris. He's in my opinion is the
just
best
because I
corner.
don't. Just because I hate Chris Harris, and I'll say it into this microphone. I'm gonna say me because I'll totally kick Chris Harris's ass.
Uh-oh. You gotta add some weight
I told
for that belt.
him, I was like, dude, I'm gonna call you out on this microphone. I'm gonna call you out on this podcast. I told him that right before we left.
Well, he should be coming on at some point. We'll
He's
see.
gonna jump out of this tree right here in about 10 seconds.
Now, I always tell everybody that Chris is literally the best at reading movement and live play than anybody I've ever trained with. Like, he will. That's why sometimes in his fights he'll kind of sit back for like the first minute or two, just kind of gauge exactly how your body's moving, read the timing. The next, right as soon as he figures out some of your reads, you're done. He's got you figured out.
Yeah.
It's frustrating as hell when he does that.
Capitalizes
like
too, man.
He uses more angles than most little guys out there in the gym. It's weird to see a big guy.
I think that's a Zerger thing because I see Chris do it. I see Brandon definitely does it. Like, just find these weird ways to punch you when, like, someone's guarded this way, and it's like, how the fuck did he get that through there? Yeah. Like, I almost think it's just that gym does that for some reason.
Well, Chris is very good at reading live movement, but I'll tell you, fucking Brandon. That dude, you can hit him with shots that will put most guys off balance, and that dude still hits you with a fucking like 12, 15 punch combination that, like, it doesn't matter.
He's gonna straight up KFC.
It doesn't make sense.
You'll be like, bah, bah. You'll give him a shotgun blast, and he's like, oh, here's a 12-piece McNugget.
Yeah.
Bah, 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 bah.
Now, you said something about with Dave, trying to give me a war, give me whatever fight. Did you just accept the first fight for your pro?
Yeah, I mean, no, actually, I think Reese had Reese. He's my manager. He had offered me. He was like, "Hey, dude, do you want to fight John Gotti in New York?" You remember that TV show, Growing Up Gotti?
Oh,
yeah.
huh.
You remember that guy?
I know who you're talking about.
And I guess that was at 170, but like timing wise, it really wouldn't have worked out because I was out of town too. Like I was in Ohio seeing family, but so I guess we kind of turned that one down. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the first fight that came up, you know. And I'm going down to 155 too. So yeah.
Now, Dave has not educated you guys in this weight cut thing to
Well,
not do
okay,
it.
Here's the thing. Like, Ty is actually
I've been
probably the
cutting
most
weight for a long
disciplined guy
time.
in the gym when it comes down to eating healthy,
Yeah.
staying on top of,
Okay.
keeping your weight
My
low.
body is a
Well, the rest
machine.
of us, we're fucking pigs. Like, we'll, go out, we'll eat pizzas right after a fight. Like,
worst I
like,
ate-
him and I,
yeah.
the day of the right as soon as we weighed in, we went up to IHOP, and he's sitting there telling me, he's like, dude,
I haven't
I've
had
had
sugar in
like
3 months.
Oh,
I was
man.
I was
That shit
freaking
is
out.
like
Yeah.
crack.
Yeah, man. It was awesome. It was awesome.
No, I'm trying to quit sugar. That shit.
It's hard.
Like,
It's hard because
crack.
it's in everything, man.
Yeah.
It's in everything.
Well, I shouldn't say quit sugar. Reduce sugar.
Yeah,
Even just
exactly.
doing it by half is
Well, I mean, if
fucking
you get it
impossible.
from like a natural source too, like that's a totally different. You know, you're getting it from bananas and fruit and stuff like that.
No, I'm fucking
Yeah,
goddamn nerds and shit. I got a fucking blow pop or something.
Yeah.
Well, with that, how do either you feel about dodging fights? People who dodge fights.
I hate and Reese talked to me about this too. He was like, "There's nothing wrong with saying no, but it's like it's hard mentally to say no because you're like, dude, I don't want to back down." Like in my head, I'm like, I'm not backing down to that. You know what I mean? Like I'm here to fight.
Right.
Why would I ever back down? You know, you're gonna lose at some point. At least you're doing it because at least you're doing what you love. You know what I mean? And everybody I think a lot of guys get so worried, like, if I have one loss, I'm never going to get here. If you want to get somewhere, you're going to get there.
yeah, you have
If
to
you
accept
want
the
it that
challenges.
bad, yeah. If you don't risk it, you ain't going to get the
Yeah,
biscuit.
that's why I wanted.
And I like
the
biscuits.
guy who I'm fighting next.
You
That's
know?
why I wanted him. He's 5-0 down in Oklahoma. But the thing about it that kind of really pissed me off about him being 5-0 is he's 23 years old, right? 2 years younger than I. 2 of his wins are against a 43 and 41-year-old. Like, nothing wrong against older guys fighting, but I mean, in my opinion, it's all like, why are you fighting guys like that?
For
Why
the
aren't you-
5-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
in my opinion, it's all like you're kind of padding your record. And I found out he was fighting for a title. And I had the LJ fight still lined up. Where this is like early July, when I found out about this guy named JR, and I straight up told Reese, like, dude, I want to fight that guy. And he's like, hey man, he's tough. Are you sure about that? It's like, fuck yeah, absolutely. Next thing you know, he hit me up like literally not 2 days later. He's like, hey, JR's fighting for a title. You want to fight against him? I'm like, absolutely. Literally, first response, like 30 seconds right
And
after
this
I
is the
got that
fight,
text.
October 20,
October 28th down in
Yeah.
Oklahoma
Yeah.
City. Yeah. Yeah, so
For who?
HDMMA fighting for the inaugural 145-pound strap.
I think you like saying inaugural because this is the second time you just threw it out
Inaugural.
there. You could just say the first belt for. We're gonna have to start saying that over at UFC. This is the
Throw out these
inaugural
4-syllable
55.
words right
Hey,
here.
it sounds cool,
Hey,
right?
it sounds better. It sounds prestigious. See that? I used one. Go ahead.
right. But yeah, so it's,
So what,
those,
they just
it's
fight-
those
sorry.
type of fights, in my opinion, that are going to get you that next level. Like, if you want to go out there and make a name for yourself, if you're beating guys that are like 0-3, 1-4 all the time, to be able to get up to a record of like 7-0, who gives a shit about that? You're
Right.
fighting nobodies. Like, if you want to be able to make it to the big stage and get paid and get that fame that comes with it of being like, this dude's a fucking badass.
Everybody's a beast when
Yeah.
you get high enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
so you
every
need,
fight's
yeah,
that
you
way,
need to be able
you
to
know?
test yourself, be able to see if that's
Yeah.
truly what you're capable of.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
hell, my one loss that I have, my split decision loss, the guy's now 6-0, Yazin Haji. At the time, he was 3-0, and I was 1-0.
That's a
You lost
Sick
that at
name.
VFC.
Yeah, lost that at VFC. That fight, I learned a ton about myself. That's the first guy I didn't steamroll through. He caught me probably about like 35 seconds into the fight with an uppercut that dropped me to my knee. Got right back up and started throwing bombs at him. I don't even remember that first round. I just happened to see it on the highlight of that's what I did.
Now we talked. Me
Hyde came
and
out.
Dave and Dave and Cody. We talked about that idea of like sometimes you can get hit or slammed or whatever it is, and the reaction of the crowd turns you into straight reaction where you're just like, I gotta get this back. I gotta get this back.
Yeah.
The momentum.
So how do you stay composed enough to not get dropped again or even knocked out after taking a punch?
Ring time experience.
Yeah.
That goes in exactly what I was doing that LJ fight. Just getting that ring time and experience of just being composed out there, being comfortable out there, feel like that I belong out there, you know? That's the only way you're going to be able to keep your composure when you get hit with a good shot and not let the crowd overturn your emotions and get the best out of you.
Or take the judges away from you. Because sometimes
Exactly.
I can take the judge. On your end, you know, you got the how do you have you studied your fighter that you have?
Yeah, I've been watching. I think I've watched 4 of his fights.
What are you expecting? I know you expect to win, but what do you expect?
He's pretty methodical, so I think I should really be able to dictate the pace because I try to keep like a really high, fast pace.
Yeah.
And I think that's gonna I think that's definitely gonna be the determining factor. It's just gonna be a matter of time of when he's gonna let me land that big shot or get that takedown, get into the position for a finish, or it's gonna be like a matter of time. It's gonna be like a wet paper towel. Eventually, it's gonna rip, you know. And I'll be there.
Oh man, it got good sayings and everything.
Yeah, I watch a lot of TV.
Speaking of TV, that good, we'll just get over to the nickname. Well, how'd you come up with that?
John Wick, man.
I'm gonna
Love
tell
that
you,
movie.
man.
You know what it translates to, though, right?
Boogeyman.
No. You know what it? No, in the movie,
All right, what is it?
it's dude, it's like in Russia that it's like old like grandma witch. Yeah.
So you
and
named
like
yourself
and-
after a female?
Well,
So you're a grandma witch.
yeah, that's right. That's why, dude. Have you noticed I've been saying
Baba Yaga.
boogeyman a lot more?
Yeah.
I've been like, yeah, boogeyman. I'm just trying to like phase it in so nobody notices, you know.
The Baba Yaga disappears.
Yeah, it just kind of goes away. But no, I was talking to.
Hold on. So it says here, Baba Yaga is a supernatural being who appears as a deformed, ferocious-looking witch.
Yeah, there you go.
So you got a fucked up body. This bitch
Yeah.
with a limp.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess in Russia, Baba or Babi, it can be like slang for like, yo, let's go get some bitches. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Let's get some of these
Hey, man.
bow-legged
Yeah,
witches.
hit up the Bobby or Bobby, you know? Like, what up, Bobby? You know?
So
And
you're
then-
gonna change your nickname?
Yeah, I'm just slowly. I was trying to just, you know, like slide a hand, do it on the table. Next thing you know, I'd just be Boogeyman, you know. But
It's done now. It's official.
yeah. Oh no, the next fight's definitely gonna be. It'll be like, oh, Boogeyman, you know.
It was crazy. I
Yeah.
heard it.
It sounds tight though.
At the last fight, and then I just saw John Wick last week.
And you were like,
And
what?
I was like, man, this is a good motherfucking movie. Oh, this is where it came from.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes sense.
So at least I got the John. I can be like, yeah, it's from the John Wick thing.
Most people are gonna
you know?
go John
Yeah,
Wick.
exactly.
If
Unless
they
you're
seen
from
it.
Russia, and then you're gonna be like, what the?
Yeah,
fuck?
then you're going to get
What's
called
wrong
out
with
on
this
that
dude,
bullshit.
man?
Like, I'm like, oh man, we got transvestite thing going on here. This is
Like,
shouldn't be
welcome
sanctioned.
to America. You know?
Hey, it is what it is. Mr. Hyde, how'd you come up with this?
We kind of did a little poll, and it was actually Reese had a good idea. We were giving tickets out to my first VFC fight, and we're just like, hey, you know what? Best guy that comes up with the nickname gets free Cageside tickets to it and a shirt to it, you know? Get the fans involved in interaction. So it was actually one of Reese's coworkers at his tattoo shop that kind of just came along with a couple different ideas out there that we're going with, and some of the ideas we liked them, but they're too generic, you know?
Yeah.
No one has the Mr. Hyde deal. Then plus two, like outside in the real world, you see me being like one of the nicest guys. Like I'll walk up to a homeless guy, give him $20 if
I
give him
will not.
I'll give him cash on my wallet, you know. I've even given a guy a shirt off my back
For
before
what?
Yeah.
because I had extra
It
shirts in
must
my
have
car.
been like an EFC
Yeah.
shirt, one of those giveaway shirts. Like, you know,
Yeah, I
just
feel
got
left
this.
out, man. You guys both got the EFC shirts on. I didn't even get one.
Hey, dude,
For the last fight.
it took me 3 fights on AFC to finally get a
Dang,
shirt.
dude.
So you got 2 more to
I
go.
got 2 more.
Yeah, you
Shit.
got 2 more.
Probably.
Damn.
You're probably going to get one the next.
Hopefully.
Get an
probably.
EFC
I'm gonna be
towel or
like,
some shit.
yeah.
But so we kind of went along with the Mr. Hydes because whenever I get there in the cage, I'm just a completely different person. Like, it's kind of weird, like that whole story between Dr. Jackal and Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jackal, that real nice guy who's on the outside, he takes his little potion, then turns into Mr. Hyde, just absolutely fucking destroys everything in sight. Me, my little potion is that walk to the cage, you know? Getting that feel of that crowd, getting amped up, whether they're booing me or screaming me, that's my potion of what I'm taking. And I get in there and that cage door locks, and that's when Mr. Hyde comes out.
But all you do is just walk. It's just like
Dude,
this military,
there's a very
and it's like quick too. Well, not as quick as Cody, but it's like.
You know, Chris said to me the other day. Chris said to me a couple months ago. I think we were talking shit about you, but he was like, "Dude, Alex, like he like flips the switch." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was like, he really flips the switch because some people don't do that. Some people got to go in the cage, get punched in the face, have their adrenaline dump. You know what I mean? Or they have whatever they got to do.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, Alex flips the switch.
Yeah, that's exactly why
hard,
I don't touch gloves before a fight because of that reason. Like, why the fuck do I want to touch gloves? Be like, hey man, good luck, punch me in the face. Fuck that.
No, I'm like, good luck, don't die, player.
Yeah, well, fuck that. See, that's the thing about
I hope you live.
In my mind, that's what the ref's there for. You know,
Yeah.
the ref's there to keep that from happening.
He's the lifeline, man.
I could have sworn I've seen you touch gloves before.
I got forced to because the guy was holding his glove out. I didn't want to, and he was yelling across the cage, so like, "Hey, touch gloves!" And I was like,
You're
"No,
like, no."
And then he comes out. Yeah, it was my pro debut that he did that. All my other fights out there, I don't touch gloves. Like, I absolutely hate touch gloves. Like, if you want to drink a beer after the fight, sure, let's have a few beers, you know. But before the fight, I don't want to touch gloves. You're trying to take my head off. You're trying to knock me unconscious. I don't want to do that.
All right, you're rude, man.
You're rude.
It's real. It's real.
You can turn the switch when y'all touch gloves.
Nah.
What about this? Next time they touch gloves, just kick them in the stomach. Is that messed up?
Oh yeah, do one of those things. There's a
move.
secret. Yeah, I know it's like it's horrible and it's bad sportsmanship, but I think deep down inside, everybody wants to have one of those like touch gloves, whack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to do it.
Why this is what
I don't know why some guys do.
This is what boggles me. All right, this is blood sport basically. And I don't understand, like, when I see interviews, like everything about the sport, I don't understand why everyone is so nice. Like, they don't, like, you can't curse. This is a family show. Like, even when the walkouts with the music, and it's like, they got to edit the music. Like, for what?
What's that, at EFC or in general?
No, okay, any show that has, it's below 18, you're not allowed to have cuss words in
What do you mean below
your
18?
walkout songs because the kids
Kids that are out there. Yeah,
that's the
okay,
reason
I
why.
got it.
But I totally agree with that. So, like, dude, they're witnessing people
murder.
smash each other in the face.
They're witnessing controlled murder. If that ref wasn't in there, it'd be a fight to the death.
Yeah, exactly.
At some point, there will probably be blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they can see that, they can hear some curse words.
I completely agree. I think it's stupid that we're not allowed to have it.
If I feel like this, it's like taking your kid to an R-rated movie. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna allow them to go to the R-rated movie, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, you can go with a parent, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with a fight.
Yeah.
You know, the girls in the bikinis and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
and we got some decent girls.
Yeah.
We caught you. Yeah, we caught you looking at.
There's literally a picture of me just like eyes wide, like I'm
when
like.
You see the
damn
cage
it.
side, she walks by and you just like, oh, what switch is that? Did you switch it off back this way, then come back?
That's
on?
a different switch. That one went up. Boing.
Yeah.
All right. So how did both of y'all get started? Actually, what brought y'all to JMTK?
Okay, well, this all started it's kind of crazy. I first walked into JMTK back in 2011, back when everyone was off of Oliver and Pawnee. I was there for a few months, and then I got deployed, was gone for, I think, about 14 months, came back. At that point in time, Jake Fox and Andy Zerger, they ended up splitting. They still have a very good relationship. It was a mutual split, and Jake Fox's gym, Fox Fitness, happened to be a lot closer to where I lived at the time. So I walked into Fox's door, and I did jiu-jitsu while I was deployed, did all the combative stuff, but I wanted to do the real thing, you know? After sitting there doing all that military stuff of where we get to beat each other up, you know, it's all like, I want to see what it's like fighting. I want to do that at least one time,
You want to be
see
able to
what it's
hurt
like.
somebody.
Yeah.
Animals.
So then that was the
Get
first
paid
thing
to
I
do
told Fox right since I walked in his door, and I was like, "Hey man, I'm looking to fight." He told me come back. He's like, "All right, come back Friday at 5." I thought there was a class going on. No, it was hard sparring. Had bloody nose, didn't even know how to throw a proper punch or anything like that. Came back the next day. He's like, "Okay, good, you came back." So he's like, "All right, yeah, I'll train you." He's all like, "I'll tell you when you're ready to fight." Took about 10 months of me getting my blue belt, and then he's like, came up to me. He's like, "Hey, I got a fight opportunity out in Hayes." At the time, my buddy Nate Alvarez was fighting. He was making his professional debut, and I hopped on that card with him and just kind of got into it ever since. And one of the things that kind of like really knew that this is something I wanted to do. We weren't supposed to be throwing knees this day during light tap sparring while I was sparring with Nate, and I shot for a double leg, and this motherfucker threw a flying knee at the same time. Shit, broke my nose, right?
Nice.
So, and I already paid for
Wait,
it.
first day?
No, this is like 3 months in.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
but check this out. Okay, I
was
signed
like,
up for
sick.
I signed up for a jiu-jitsu tournament. Yeah, I signed up
Cyborg
for
broke
a
his
jiu-jitsu
face.
tournament, right? Like I had a jiu-jitsu tournament. I think like a week and a half, 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, "Fuck, man! I already paid $200 for this registration." Like,
Damn straight.
I'm still going
Better
to
get that
it. So
$200.
yeah, so I went there and still having this broken nose. I was like, "Fuck it!" I just took his tampon, split it in half, and just shoved up my nostrils, and went out there and ended up taking gold in both divisions.
The guys you're grappling are just like really intimidated because you're just breathing like.
Right? Yeah. I remember
They're
one
like,
guy,
"Dude,
he
what
tried,
is
he
up
tried
with
to
this guy?"
cross-face me, dude, and with the broken nose, my eyes like started watering up. Like it took me 3 minutes to finally get like
Yeah,
clear vision
yeah.
out of my eyes.
Oh gosh.
And like I walked in the bathroom after all the matches were said and done. I pulled the
Just
tampons out of my
gushing.
nose, dude. No, it was like that dark red coagulated
Oh,
blood.
gross.
And one of the guys that I compete against, he's like, "Was that from today?" It's like, dude, I broke my nose a couple weeks ago. Like,
Yeah, you're not tough enough to do
Yeah.
this. Don't get your hopes up.
How do you not quit?
Can't, man.
Can't-
Quit, you die.
it's some-
You
it's
can.
no,
let's not have you
it's-
can quit.
it's something about like us fighters that like we're always going to be drawn to. Like the time that for me would have been to quit would have been after I tore my ACL. I tore
Not
wrestling.
quit for good, but quit the fight.
Oh, if it's
If I get hurt in a fight, that
That's
brings
a
the fight out
different-
in me
yeah,
more.
that's
I don't
even
want to quit. Like I could be getting my ass whooped. Fuck it,
That's,
I'm
like,
in there
more
until
resolute
like you
than
literally have to separate
training
me from
even.
my conscience to be able to get me out of that fight. Like.
Yeah.
I either have to go to sleep from a choke, or literally have to just knock me out cold.
Yeah.
Like I refuse to get a TKO loss, technical knockout where you're still moving around. If you break my arm, fuck it, I still got another arm and other legs to be able to hit you with.
Bones heal. You know.
I mean, shit, yeah, I got elbows.
No, fight another day. Live to fight another day.
Yeah.
It's our egos. Our egos refuse to allow us to quit.
Ego. I feel like ego sounds like a bad word sometimes, but when another man is imposing his will on you, and then it's your choice to pack it up and go home and quit, or turn the corner and do the same thing that guy, make him quit. It's like it's an easy decision. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like all the chemical releases going on in your body, all the emotions, everything going on, the pain's not there. I mean, it might be, but it's not like you
I
think.
wouldn't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I
And-
just stumped my toe earlier, so that shit
Oh,
hurt.
dude, I kicked the shit out of my coffee table the other day, and I was down for like 10 minutes.
Dude, sorry, I got a paper cut the other day, and I was crying like a little bitch, dude. Like I'd rather
Damn,
get punched in
dude.
the face than deal with a paper cut.
Yeah.
That was the Jekyll part. He was like, I'm still
He's
a
like,
sensitive being right
Yeah.
now. I can't do this.
I got love in my heart.
How'd you get started?
How did I get started? I was doing like a lot of combatives kind of stuff, karate and stuff when I was a little kid. And we were a military family, so we moved around a lot. So I was always into a lot of stuff, but I was always like second place.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I was always like just short of it. And then we moved to Maryland, and I started going to high school out there, and I started wrestling and doing jiu-jitsu at the same time. I was wrestling under Kerry Colat, who's a 2-time Olympian, and like I had no idea what I was doing, but this dude made me an animal in like 2 years, right? So I had like zero experience, And he's probably like, I'd say he's probably like one of the best high school, college wrestling coaches, like building programs in the country. And at the same time, I started doing jiu-jitsu with my good friend Eddie Adney, who is with the Eric Paulson school. It's called Method MMA out in Baltimore. And then I moved back to Ohio, and I went to Vision MMA, which is under it's owned by Jason Lane. It's under Carlson Gracie Jr. I know you guys are probably like, who are these people?
Hey,
You know,
man,
but-
I was just going to say,
yeah.
MMA people love dropping names like
yeah,
rappers.
man. Yeah, exactly.
Then I was with my man
You
Pete
know?
Holmes, and what he did was gave me $5.
There were
I
a
took
lot
that
of-
$5.
But being like traveling like that, like I've gotten to train with like a lot of really good dudes over a long period of time. Like I always tell, I'm always name dropping like Daniel Strauss. That's my boy, man. I love that guy. Dom Steele's my brother.
I'd really say
You
that's
know,
probably like
UFC
one of
vet.
the privileges that with
Mo-
being in the
yeah.
military, when we go
You get
what we
to
call
train with so
TDY,
many
we get
people,
to
man.
travel and such.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when I got to go out to California during July, I tried looking up gyms while I was out there. Didn't really find any place until after I was a week out there. Found this really badass gym called Combat Sports Academy. Little did I know the type of fighters they had in it.
Yeah.
Well, I walked in the doors. I recognized 4 UFC fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, what?
They had Kevin Ross, who's now the 147-pound kickboxing champion for Bellator. He was like number 4 or 5 ranked in Muay Thai in the world. He was out there teaching. They had Henry Cejudo, Dustin Ortiz.
That's a wrestling god, right
Yeah,
there.
and a
Henry
few
Cejudo.
other big-name UFC fighters just all out there training at the gym. I like walked in there and I was like, hell yeah, I got a badass place to train while
Yeah,
I'm out here.
it's
And I was
sick.
out there for a month.
Now, was you afraid that, damn, I may look like shit in front of these people?
I was at first just because
Because you
when
never know.
Yeah, you don't know. But I'll tell you what, while I was out there training with those guys, it just boosted my confidence in the type of training that we get here at JMTK. But like, yeah, it's a smaller gym. It's not well-known, world-renowned like some of those other gyms out there. But it showed me that having the type of faith that I have in my coach, that what he's teaching us is top-notch. It's top-of-the-line striking out
Look
there.
how
'cause-
tough the motherfuckers are that come out of there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dave, Chris, you, like Brandon.
Me, whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
But I've been in there a few times. I've been in the ring.
Well,
Yeah.
not even just that. Like
Jessica?
Speaking
Yeah,
of one,
Jessica.
speaking of one of your guests earlier, that you had Cody Carrillo, probably one of the
Cody.
most technical strikers out there. I mean, that dude's sitting there when he gets in his stride during a fight, he's throwing out like 8 to 12 punch/kick combinations like it's nothing, and making him look gorgeous as he's doing it.
That's
And that
true.
all came from Andy Zerger.
Yeah.
Now, you talked about, training and someone making you or turning you into a beast. One thing Dave said that is seeing when you came to the gym and where you're at now, there's like this real growth that you can see. Like,
Yeah.
that it's a real big change, which makes him feel like you should have been pro a long time ago. When you see him, Alex, training and fighting, what do you think?
Oh man, he's one of my favorite training partners. Like I always
He's
keep
so
telling him, blowing kisses at you.
And handsome.
All right.
Don't forget that. One of your most handsome training
But, I
partners.
love training with him for the fact of his style is always pushing a pace. That's why I always keep telling him, because we talk about weight classes all the time, and he told me, he's like, yeah, I was thinking about dropping down 145. It's like, no, bro, your style is pushing a pace. Like, you don't need to have that bad of a weight cut where you can't have that high pace style of fighting. So
Yeah.
he's always pushing the pace.
I have made 145 already though, but
long time ago.
long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
What was your weight on at
170. I was like I like weighed in. I had my pants on. I was chilling.
you knew you was good.
Yeah, I'm not even cutting weight right now, and I'm under 170.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, check this out. Actually, funny story about that weigh-in. So, we get to the
Oh,
weigh-in.
Jesus.
And we get there, and
I didn't know
Glenn-
it was that well put together, to be honest with you. Nothing against, but I mean, I'm a newcomer
No,
here.
So
you know?
so check this out. So Glenn, the official there.
Yeah.
I was all like, "Hey,
Oh, shit,
can
that
we go
was
on that?"
funny as hell.
I was like, "Can we go on that scale?" And he's like, "Yeah, go ahead and get on
Yeah.
scale." He's all like, "I'm not gonna look at it first. Check your weight. That way it's not official." So I hop on the scale. I see 145.6. So I'm like, "Hey, Glenn, I'm good, right?" He looks at it and says, "Yeah, you're good." keywords right here. He's like, you're good to eat, drink, whatever what you want. Don't leave until I get the official weighing paper. So I'm like, all right, good. So I am good, right? He's like, yeah. I leave. I go over to the table. I'm talking to my manager, Reese, talking to Ty. I start pounding water at this point in time. I've already drank like a half gallon of water. Yeah, I've already drank like a half gallon of water.
Glenn's
at this
like,
point
what
in
are you
time.
doing?
Yeah, then Glenn has to come back over. He's like, all right, I need you to step on scale again. I'm like,
He's like,
wait, what?
What did you say,
So
Glenn?
within like that 12 minutes, I was already back up to 149 pounds. So I'm
just standing there like, oh,
yeah, I'm looking at Glenn. I'm
no.
all like, dude, you told me I'm good. And he's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, bullshit, motherfucker. Like, you said that. Like, and luckily someone
Glenn's
else was all
such a good guy.
Yeah, and luckily someone else was like, yeah, Glenn,
Such
I
a
heard you say. He's
sweet
like,
dude.
well, I didn't mean to say that, but yeah, you're a good man. Yeah, he was giving me a heart attack right there.
But with EFC 6, there was a lot of controversy at the weigh-ins. I don't know when you guys got there, saw it all, but between Cody's fight and what was it, Mobley, his fight,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of weigh-in
Boy, dude's not
controversy.
making weight and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not making weight, overweight, but
Yeah. I
contracted
mean,
fights.
Cody Mobley,
say,
he took that fight on
Like 4 days notice
yeah,
or
it's
something
pretty
like
close.
that. So he gets a break
Yeah.
when it comes down to that. Like,
Yeah.
if you take a fight on 4 days notice, I mean, he knew damn well how much he was weighing overweight. I mean, he probably could have negotiated a bill to try to have like a catch weight a little bit higher, but
Well, you know, being not a fighter and kind of looking at the business of fighting, I'm learning there are a lot of quote fighters who are pretty fucking scary. Like they don't
Yeah.
have the heart to fight. I think that his fighter was more afraid to fight him, so he did a lot of bitching just to get paid.
Yeah.
yeah.
And was like,
To make sure
I
he
may
got
or may
paid.
not fight, but can I get his money for not making weight?
Yeah,
And to
what,
me, it's like-
what was up with that fight, man? That was a
Dude,
weird
I was
fight,
getting
wasn't
so
it?
pissed backstage because, you know, like, there's a point in time when
Why-
he quit
did-
warming up, right?
Yeah.
And I was the fight literally right after his fight.
Yeah.
I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, hey,
It's like
kickboxing
dragging
match,
out.
3-minute rounds, like 15, 20-minute stops. Nah, this thing got drug out
like a
it was
half-hour
30,
fight, dude.
30, 35 minutes. I'm backstage like, shit, I still could have been warming up. My body's
Dudes are
starting to get cold.
swiping at each other, Nick's trying to break them up and
Yeah,
stuff.
then-
That's all. I didn't see much of it, but
That's the
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
shit I like.
Mobley
Yeah,
straight
dude,
up, dude, he straight up spit on him.
Mobley spit on
Yeah.
him. Mobley that's a bad dude right there,
Hell
man.
yeah,
Like,
I mean, he fought in that bare knuckle deal over
he's
way out
had
of
what
Japan.
60 he's had fights in what 5 countries?
Something like
60
that,
fights
yeah.
in 5. He posted
Whatever
something
it
back
is,
the
there's
other
a
day.
bunch of them. But that fight will be paired with your Cageside. It's going to also
Yeah,
have
yeah.
actually, yeah, all three of these fights going to
Dude,
be together.
I'm stoked
Kobe's
to see
fight,
that.
your fight, all going to be on the same Cageside, and it's all the drama that goes with it be there too. So, yeah, I mean, like, it was crazy because he knocked him down. I think he kicked him or some shit.
Yeah,
like
dude
that.
kept striking on him or something when he was on the ground.
Yeah,
and then he got
he'd take
pissed.
him down and he'd follow him with ground pound. So I mean, I can
It's like,
totally
dude,
get
do you not know what
Cody's
you're doing, or-
frustration on that because he's a Muay Thai fighter. It was a kickboxing
Yeah, yeah.
match. Like,
Yeah, those are the rules.
I get it. If you get swept, you get swept.
You're not gonna kick a boxer. You're not gonna. You know what I mean? Like
but it's one of those things. Like
if
the
you're
guy
in a
was like
boxing
clearly
match.
going
I think
for
he
double
was
leg
trying to
takedowns.
get out of that fight.
I
maybe,
think so too.
maybe.
Because the
Yeah.
way that fight wasn't going his way, and he was just getting assaulted basically.
Okay, so I got a question for you. If a dude starts doing that to you, do you keep it cool or like what are you gonna? How are you gonna act?
I can't.
How
take
you
this
gonna
out.
act?
In the moment? It's in the moment.
Because I'm gonna go Texas rattlesnake on a motherfucker
Yeah,
and start
that's
busting people. I'm gonna grab a beer bottle and smack you in the
Yeah,
fucking
I feel
head.
like
You know
I
what I
probably
mean?
would have did the exact same thing.
Go ahead,
Mobley did,
open
so I can't
floodgates.
sit there and say that like, oh, I would have kept my
I'll
composure.
fucking-
'cause, no, I don't.
I'll
I've never
double
been in
eye
that
poke your
situation.
ass. I've.
But what about
you know,
keeping
no
your
mercy?
composure and then just going all out? Like, you know, it's one thing that people
Yeah,
were saying
yeah.
about the McGregor Mayweather fight is that McGregor would just at some point lose his shit and be an MMA fighter
And
and
elbow
boxing.
him.
Yeah.
Or so, it's like, dude, he's getting paid so much.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a difference
You
between how
think
much
he's
he's
gonna
getting
risk
paid
that
and we're
money?
getting paid.
That is true.
Like,
Because
dude, I will be-
I believe I read
I'll
somewhere
become a
that
fucking
he,
astronaut.
If
You
he
give
had
me
a
100 mil.
if he had a penalty, he was getting like 10 or 15 million out of his purse taken
It's
away,
fake news, man.
forfeited to Mayweather.
It's fake news. It's fake news in the sense that like people like to talk. People like to bring stuff up that like creates like a controversy. They're like, dude, he's gonna.
Well, the whole fight was a controversy.
oh yeah,
Well, no, no, no.
absolutely.
Well, I read this after the fight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm saying I had read the knee thing. Or I had a lot of guys at my job or whatever that maybe aren't like the most experienced fight fans. Nothing against that, right? But they're like, dude, what if he elbows him? I'm like, dude, do you not think he has like control of his arm?
That's
like,
how I felt.
You know,
I felt like
he's just got a wacky noodle just flopping around. No, he's one of the most highly tuned athletes in the world. He's not just gonna pop an elbow off.
He's very patient. He's not a brawler. I mean, if he was a brawler, it would have been a different story.
Mike Tyson did try to bite a motherfucker's ear off.
Yeah.
So.
But look at fucking Mike Tyson though.
Yeah,
dude, I love me some Mike Tyson though. I love me some Mike Tyson.
I think that's just a totally different dude.
Yeah.
What did y'all think about that Mayweather fight?
I enjoyed it.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I
almost threw a brick to my TV,
there's a good
though.
quote that David shared from a jiu-jitsu guy named John Donaher. Right, badass little last name.
Right.
But anyways, like he explained the fight best out of everybody trying to summarize the fight. You know, he's sitting there talking about how you took an MMA guy and put him in a specialist's world.
Yeah.
Now the outcome, he said, quote, that he felt it was inevitable because he's in a specialist's world. I felt like it was inevitable too because I mean you're taking arguably the best genius and defensive fighter against an MMA fighter. Don't get me wrong, us MMA fighters, we do have good striking and such,
career
but
off that style.
It's a different type of striking in boxing. However, John Donaher was talking about how you could take an MMA fighter and plug them into a specialist's world and they will perform well. You take a specialist and put them into an MMA world, they're going to get destroyed because
what was that? Randy and
James Toney.
Yeah, put him on his back. Put him on his back, and it was a slaughter.
Yeah, the only
you know?
and don't try to bring up Holly Holm sitting there talking about how she's a professional boxer. She trains.
She
at,
is a striker.
Jackson. Well,
yeah,
she's trained
she's
at
an MMA striker.
Mike Jackson or Winklejohn Jackson's gym,
dope,
which is a MMA gym. Hell yeah,
dope.
she is.
But I mean, she didn't fight an MMA fight. It was ranged. I mean, with Ronda, you know, when you talk about a ring time, her ring time wasn't prepared for someone to keep her at bay.
Yeah.
I think most of her fights, her opponent lost before they walked in. I mean, mentally. So I think with what's her name, Holly Holmes.
Yeah, Holly Holmes.
I mean, she played a range game, which Ronda wasn't ready for that because she's used to going in there just dominating. Take him to the ground and setting up for being stronger than the other girl.
Set up that armbar.
But I think, man, I started drinking the juice of the whole McGregor publicity. I really thought, I said McGregor
because it's fun. Because it's awesome.
But I also felt like I thought it was unfair. That fight was unfair. Outside of like this is, you know, MMA going into a specialist world. I just felt like you have to set this up for a middle. Like Mayweather, why not put him in a position of weakness as well? Like both of them should have went in with a position of weakness. Conor not being a boxer, and McGregor not being able to. I'm gonna hold him to the late rounds.
Yeah,
because being able to hold, like, you know, MMA is basically 5 rounds if you're in a championship fight.
Yep.
But if you did this at like 6 or 7, let's say, I wonder if we have a different fight.
Oh, like if you
definitely
cut the fight down, you're saying.
Well, that's something that actually John Donaher elaborated on. He was sitting and talking about how an MMA fight duration is a little bit shorter, and the pace that we push,
totally different.
It's a sprint. It's 0 or
Right.
100.
Yeah.
While in boxing, you got 20%, 80%, back down 30,
right.
maybe 50%, then
Especially
maybe 100%
depending on
for
your
like
style.
a few seconds.
And like you were saying, you can plug that MMA guy in, and he's gonna perform, and he's gonna do pretty well. 85, 90% of the time, right?
Yeah.
Or he's going to make it a lot far. He's going to make it 90% farther than the specialist would in the MMA world,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
So it's like, okay, you take a sprinter who is our Conor McGregor, right? The best sprinter in the world because we have shorter duration, faster pace, more, I guess, if you want to say explosivity, you know what I mean? Just because I feel like it's much farther away.
Because you don't want to leave it to the cards.
Right. You're going for the finish all the time.
Yeah.
Right? So you take him, and he could arguably run a marathon. People run marathons all the time. But now you're going to put him against the best marathon runner ever and be like, okay, beat this guy for your first marathon he ever runs. That's kind of like the best way I can put it to somebody who doesn't understand it that much. They're like, oh, well, he's a fighter. Why can't he just fight? You know, it's like, dude, it's they're both running. Like marathons and sprints are both running.
Yeah, it's just a different pace.
Those are two totally different.
Now, I will also say I think they ended the fight too early.
I don't think so.
Well, they're not doing standing 10 counts anymore.
No, they aren't.
Right?
But
They're gone.
I think it's if it's in the contract or not. But it's one of those things. It could also vary. Chris Harris is going to be the person to ask on that because
I'm
he's
pretty
boxed
sure
professional.
I
I'm
heard
not too
Chris
sure on that.
say they don't do that anymore.
But,
that's the only reason I would say that.
In my opinion, I felt like it was a perfect stoppage for the fact of Conor did not have his hands up. He was just taking shots on the face. If he had his hands up and was at least attempting to block him, it'd be a different story. Then, yeah, I'd be like, okay, that was a premature stoppage. But when he has his hands down by his waist and by his chest and Mayweather's just throwing punches and they're landing on the face nonstop.
But why wouldn't that be more so just Conor's style? Because Conor does sometimes fight with his hands lower.
Well,
And if the punches aren't hitting him, now granted he did admit that he was gassed. And
I think
I personally would have liked to see him drop, give him an opportunity to decide if he wants to go,
recover,
and then go from there.
See if he
I
can-
think he deserved at least one. Let him go.
one. Yeah,
But
I see what you're saying.
We have a friend who refs, Nick Barons, and he said it perfectly in my mind. So I've always told him, so like, dude, I was like, wait till, like, if you're ever reffing a fight and I'm about to get knocked out, like, don't stop it. Let me get knocked out. And he told me that the commission always tells the ref that the commission will always have their back if they stop a fight early because they're there to protect us from ourselves.
Yeah, which in turn protects the commission.
Yeah,
which would protect,
and it also protects the fighter from taking unnecessary damage. However, if you let a fighter take too much damage and stop the fight too late,
as the ref.
Well, not even just the ref, but that fighter can take so much extra damage. Like, yeah, he may have been good for that one fight. That extra damage may take years off his fighting career because he took so much damage that fight. Next thing you know, his chin doesn't hold up in his upcoming fights.
But I do respect the way that McGregor's like, because, dude, he does lose like a man. Like, that guy, I think he has the best hype game ever.
In MMA? For sure.
MMA, yeah. Like,
Legend.
I mean, there's nobody that really, like, rivals it, you know, at least the way he does it. Like, yeah, I really enjoy watching the Diaz brothers get hyped for shit because it's just like, fuck you, I'm gonna beat your ass, pussy, you know, and I like that.
But that's bar fight.
Right.
We're talking a man who
that's like
just basically
SoCal
WWF
fight in the middle of the street.
school.
Oh yeah, dude. He's coming up with all this crazy stuff he's gonna say. He's like playing mind games and everything, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But when he loses, he's like, I got beat.
Yeah.
You know,
Takes like
it's
a
like,
man.
and he's like, what? You know what I mean? There you go. It happened. Like, I got beat, and I'm like,
yeah, right after he lost to Diaz, I watched press conference because I like to be able to see how those big fighters, how they react in it. He was sitting there talking about how he's like, yeah, of course it's a tough pill to swallow, but you know what? He's all like, you win some, you lose some. And he's all like, you win some, you lose some, but at the end of the day, I got paid.
Yeah, that was it.
I'm doing what I love.
I'm still rich.
He's all like, and we'll fight again.
That was my epiphany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. I still made a couple mil. So what?
Now,
you
didn't
know?
just make just a couple mil off that fight. I'm pretty sure he made like 100 or something.
No, I'm talking about Diaz. Him and Diaz.
Oh yeah.
Dude, if
but see, I look at it like this too. Who does McGregor fight now?
Like
when you go,
that challenges him?
Right. When you go
Diaz, baby.
But you just fought the most defensive fighter.
Yeah, the best boxer ever.
So now you did that. He's the most defensive. You laid shots on him, which they said you couldn't do. And everything he did with that fight. And he had to train so, like, I think that's the biggest plus that he gets here is that he trained differently to prepare for the best, arguably the best fighter in boxing.
Right.
And then you go back to MMA and you get to do 3-5 rounds again. It should be like a cakewalk now.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, like,
There's a
it's
lot.
one of the,
And the Diaz loss was also like a short, you can argue a short take fight, a catch weight fight. It's it's a whole weird scrum.
Because the second time they fought, it was at...
It was still 170.
It was still at 170.
Yeah.
But the next time they fight, is it going to be at 155?
If they do it.
Okay.
That's the big key words. If
they do it.
Yeah, if they do it.
Because I know Diaz is going to say, I want 20 mil.
Oh, yeah.
Because he knows he can get paid it.
Oh, of course.
And that's what
it's a fight
I'm
everyone wants
happy
to
about. Because that's what's awesome about.
Is that the only fight everyone wants to see?
I would
honestly,
dude. I want to see
there's two other
trilogy.
fighters I'd love to be able to see him fight against.
Khabib.
Khabib is my name.
I can't
number
ever
one
say
guy.
his name. Khabib.
Nugamarov or something like that.
Yeah.
some crazy Russian.
That
Put it that way.
badass dude with the fuzzy hat.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, just destroys everybody who gets put in front of him.
He's a tank, man.
Dude, yeah, he is. He's the reason
just
why I want to
fury.
wrestle bears.
He's just
there's
raw fury.
legitimately YouTube videos of him as a kid wrestling fucking bears.
You said this is a Russian.
Yeah. Is he number 1 or number 2 right now? He's number 1.
Number one,
Number
something
1
like that,
contender.
yeah.
What's the weight?
155. And who's number 3? Or number 2?
Well, now you got the interim champ, Tony Ferguson.
Man.
That's what I'm like too.
I think I would have much rather seen Tony fight
Khabib,
than
Kevin Lee.
Kevin
Yeah.
Lee. Don't get me wrong, Kevin Lee's a beast.
Hey, you got to give it to him for fighting
With
with
a
staff.
golf ball sized staph infection
Yeah,
on his
that was
chest.
Yeah.
Because, dude, remember, you and me were watching the fight. I went over to Alex's to watch the fight, and we're sitting there, and we're like, dude, what is it? We were literally like, dude, I can't wait till the end so we can find
Yeah.
out if this is staph or not.
Right as soon
You know
as
what I
he wins
mean?
it, right as soon as it came to the fight,
Yeah, we were like, oh, that's cool.
Yes, Joe Rogan's going to ask him.
Yeah.
Second question, what is that on your chest?
They're
Is
like-
that staff?
The new interim 155. We're like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then we're like, oh sick. We're gonna find out if that's a staph infection or not.
He said yes.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
did they let him fight?
I don't know,
That's
dude.
a good question.
I don't know. Maybe because
I bet
it
you
wasn't.
that doctor got in trouble.
Well, you know what? I bet you because it wasn't open.
Yeah.
There was-
It's a
Yeah.
fight.
I don't. But see, like, yeah, like if
He
it's
could have
not
tried playing off
open.
that was assist too.
Yeah. If it's not open, what if it wasn't staph? What if he just got like stung by a big ass bee, and then he was like, yeah, it's staph. That's why I lost.
And then it busted open in
You
the middle
know?
of the fight. There's a whole fucking different.
And a bunch of spiders crawled out of it. You know, it's like, oh Jesus.
Now, do either one? I imagine both of you do want to go UFC, Bellator at some point.
Hell yeah, man. To the top, baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
To the top.
What's your dream matchup against yourself?
Conor McGregor.
Outside of the money.
You have to,
table.
yeah, I gotta say that, right? I don't know. I feel like, look how, I mean,
Oh, actually, here's this. Who would each of you want to see the other fight
I want to see Alex fight Cody Garbrandt because he's such a huge Cody Garbrandt fan. I feel
Dude,
like,
hey, yeah,
like the way, let's say Alex is at his like max peak level. You know what I'm saying? Like level 99. Can't max
Super
up.
Saiyan.
Can't max up anymore,
Super
right?
Saiyan, XP all the way up.
He's fighting Cody for the belt. You know what I'm saying? Cody had like a super long defense, and Alex is gonna go in there and like beat his ass, you know, and like have a war or whatever. But at the same time, he's gonna be like, dude, I can't wait to get my gloves signed by this guy. You know? Or like, dude, he's like, you know, they're clinching and stuff. He's like, yo, can we get a picture after this? You
That's
know?
the Chris Harris move.
yeah, just be pull it like right.
Yeah, Chris is always smiling. Nice job. Chris is like, nice job, man. Good job.
Dude, right?
You know?
Chris always cracks me up after his fight.
God.
He's always be so friendly with the guy. I'm like, bro, like I don't think he wants to talk to you right at this
Yeah.
moment.
That last fight at EFC when like he beat the dude up pretty bad and he goes over there talking all this shit. I'm like,
He's like,
man,
what's up, dude?
why would you go talk to this? Like it's almost it's kind of gangster in a way. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
buddy, I know what just happened to you. I'm sorry about that, but
Yeah.
man, you're a trooper. Like, hey,
Yeah.
man, if you ever need a friend or reference, I'll give you one. Like, it's
Yeah. Like, hey, bro, I just stole your girlfriend, but I know these chicks over here.
You only got to watch this fight on YouTube.
What?
Watching it live whenever
Julian Marquez?
Yeah, the Julian Marquez
Ooh.
fight.
Dude,
Man,
that dude.
dude, that was a back and forth.
That was
war.
Dude, that
great
guy
fight.
That
has
was so much fun to watch live, and
Yeah.
I just remember like thinking, right? I was telling Chris because Chris was sitting there telling me he always has a little bit of anxiety when he's fighting somebody
Right.
who's legitimately bigger than him.
yeah.
And I told him, I was like, hey, dude, I was like, right as soon as you go in there, kick him in the face as hard as you fucking can. And sure enough, he did. I'm like, fuck yeah, he did that. But then after the fight, he's like
Mission
trying to be
accomplished.
buddy with Julian. I'm like, dude, bro, like you just went 15 minutes with the hard rounds and trying to knock each other out, rock 'em, sock 'em robots.
Yeah.
Like, pretty sure this guy doesn't want to talk to you right now. I mean, they're friends nowadays.
Like,
but
dude, that was what cavemen used to do, fighting over like territory and resources, like back in
Yeah.
the day. You know,
But
like just
what's
bloodying
impressive
each
about
other
Chris
up like
in
that.
is that like he still has energy to do that.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you can understand what he's saying and everything.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. Who you want to see him fight?
I want to see Chris fight?
Who do I want to see? Ty fight?
Oh.
Man. Honestly, I would like to see him fight another high-paced fighter like himself. Would be like Tony Ferguson out there, who's just well-rounded. I mean, he throws everything. That's the way Ty is. Ty will throw
Dude, I like
everything at
Tony.
you, and in your face, high pace.
Scramble it up.
You know, if it's going to be a fight night, potentially 5-decade type deal, it's got to be someone who's going to be like Tony Ferguson, who's dangerous and well rounded everywhere. Because
At like minute 4, round 5. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like that's where I'm like, dude, I want to be dangerous like every second of the fight.
dude,
You know?
yeah.
Like I probably like overdo my cardio, but I'm all about it.
How many rounds you think you could do?
Until I die. So at least like
5, 6.
no, more than that.
Yeah.
Way more than that. Way more than that. Because I started running. And when I say I started running again, like I used to run. I'd probably put down like 40 miles a week, and now I'm back up to that, like getting there. You know.
Yeah, I'm good on running.
So yeah.
Like cross-
I don't know why you guys don't like it, man. You don't like running?
Nah, dude. Like, don't get me wrong. I'll
Yeah.
take my dog for like
My dog, she won't run
3
with
or
me
5
anymore.
minute, like
She
3 or
won't run
5
with me.
mile jog,
Yeah.
maybe once a week. But that's
Yeah.
it.
But you got a championship fight coming up. 5
Yeah, well,
rounds, so you
this-
learn something about yourself.
Yeah, this one, I focused a lot. I got my weight under control way more in advance. Put it this way: usually come fight week if the weigh-in's on a Friday and on Sunday, I'm usually still like 163. I'm way
Yeah.
less than that right now, and I still got 16 days out. Like I've been definitely watching my diet, be able to make sure that everything cardio-wise is on point.
So you're like 18 over usually?
Yeah, usually like
Really?
the week of the fight. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I'm like, I got that stubbornness like Chris, where
dude.
I'll just
I
cut.
feel
all
a
the
lot
weight
better
all the
now
week.
because I was kind of stressing a little bit. I was like, man, you know, because it's been a while since I've like legitly cut weight.
Yeah.
You know?
But isn't that scary? Because you're putting money on the line as a pro now.
Yeah.
So come being that weak, that heavy, that's a hard work sometimes.
It
So-
is, but it's one of those things though that I know the way how my body operates.
Yeah.
I've gotten. That's why we fight as amateurs. We do that as amateurs of not just getting cage time, but we also get experience with the weight cutting, and everything that by the time you turn pro, you should have under control.
Yeah.
So me,
Which apparently he does.
yeah, this dude, like, yeah, it's so funny.
Eating kale.
Right as soon as
I don't eat kale. I hate
right,
kale.
right as soon as
Screw
he
kale.
was making his pro debut and it became official, our manager Reese was sitting there texting me. He's all like, "Man, David found him a tougher guy than what I wanted him to be fighting for his pro debut. Like he's going from 3 to 5 minute rounds." I literally texted this to her, so I was like, "Reese, shut the fuck up. I train with Ty. His cardio and conditioning's good.
I like
Drop
cardio.
it."
I like cardio, man. I don't know. I got a very rare opportunity to do a lot of stuff when I was in the military. When I first got in the military, in my first couple years in the military, that like I don't know, like 0.01 of the population will ever get a chance to try, and then less than 10% of that will actually get through. Like I don't know, going through Hell Week was, ever since I've done that, man, everything's been pretty easy. But
I'm not with it. I like to sit on the couch, hang
Yeah.
out. For you, and this will wrap up, but what advice would you give a up and coming fighter, one who wants, like, any advice you would give any kind of fighter, one who probably should quit, wants to stick around? Like, what would you tell a fighter?
a guy, so I'm talking to two guys, one that wants to quit, one that wants to stick around.
Whichever
or
one you
just
want to talk
in
to.
general. I think if you're doing it at all, you want something out of it. And I mean, honestly, not even like any fighter, like anybody doing anything, like whatever your passion is, and maybe that sounds super cliche, but like if you want to do it, if your mind can overcome literally anything. Your body can break, it can be destroyed, you can not be able to walk. You can, like, I don't care what it is, your mind can overcome it. And like if they're like, "Oh, no, I can't do that." Like I've been in situations where I haven't slept for 5 days. I've lost 15 pounds. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm even standing right now. And they're like, "All right, we're going to go do this next thing. It's going to be like a 12-mile
Right.
ruck." And a ruck is like where you carry like 85 pounds on your back. You know what I mean? For
And-
12 miles.
Yeah, you go
With a gas mask, with a rifle, with
this isn't like
your
a
jacket.
slow walk. This is a fast-paced
you're
walk,
moving-
almost like a jog.
Yeah, you're pretty much running.
I got
And,
a chick on my back right now. I can't get off. But go ahead.
But it's like, and at the end of that, it's like, by the end of it, I'm like, wow, I still did it. I still did it. I still, like, then the next thing comes. And you start breaking it down. So I guess my advice would be figure out how to compartmentalize the things that are important to you so that you can achieve them, right? So if you have this big, long thing, let's call this big event your day, right? Break that day up. Get to the next meal. Or no, just get past noon. All right? If that gets too hard, get to the next meal. If that gets too hard, get to the next hour. If that gets too hard, get to the next task. Like, it would shit hurt so bad when I was doing that. Because, like, rhabdomyolysis is when your kidneys and shit are shutting down because your muscle tissue has broken down so much because you're working out so much that your blood can't filter it out. It's getting in your blood, it can't filter it out. And it'll fuck you up really bad. So you feel that, and plus dehydration, plus no sleep, plus everything else, you're pretty much like inebriated, and you're just like, all right, all I gotta do is this next push-up. This next thing you know, or this next sit-up. They just made you do 1,000 sit-ups, and it's like people are like, I don't know if I could do that right now, but they tested us at the beginning and they tested us in the middle. My test numbers got better the more fucked up I was.
Now,
So that proved to me that your body, your mind, if your mind is like, there's no other option, this is it. If you do that for yourself, if you give yourself that opportunity, you'll be able to do it. It doesn't matter what it is, whether you want to be an astronaut, whether you want to be a fucking, I don't know, an accountant, or whatever the hell it is.
That's
whatever
a big
that
drop.
thing is. Yeah, man. I don't know. Accountants make money, right?
Oh yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
fuck yeah.
all right.
Busy as hell though.
Well,
Yeah.
Alex, I don't know how you beat that, but your turn.
I completely agree with him. It all comes down to mental toughness,
Yeah.
And it's one of those things though that if you want to succeed in this, you have to put in forth the effort. You have to be in the gym training, and this is where it cracks me up when people say, "Oh, I don't have time to train." Everyone's got the same 24 hours in the day.
Yep.
Ty and I, we work on the active side of the military. We both work pretty much like 9 to 5, maybe 8 to 4, some shit
Yeah.
like that. But you know what? My lunch breaks, I use it to go train.
Yep.
My evenings, I'm spending training 3 to 4 hours a day because I'm prioritizing this is what I want to do.
I sleep
know?
like 4 hours a night.
Yeah, I got to
That's
get a
about
little
it.
bit more sleep than that.
Or even, even going with that, like you said, with time, I think that's the worst excuse people tend to make. I don't have time. I know when I'm bullshitting my time. Like,
Yep.
I do this, I turn
Yep.
around and edit the video, I turn around and go do this, I got a regular fucking job, and still I find time to play Xbox. So
Yeah.
I know people have time. It's just like you say, figuring out how to compartmentalize those things and break up that day into the shit that's important to you. Or, like you said, just stop making excuses. Just
Yeah,
do it.
Yeah.
because it
all goes.
I really don't believe in free time at all. Everyone, again, has the same 24 hours in the day,
Yeah.
If you have, I call it downtime. Like, yeah, I'm going to give myself maybe like an hour of downtime where
Mine's
I just
Tinder.
sit there and play on my
I'll be
phone, maybe
swiping
looking,
for hours.
swiping left, swiping right on Tinder, So, yeah. But,
I just swipe right.
right. And then just hopefully no one's bought.
Yeah.
It was
right.
gambling.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like one of the things that like the advice that I'd give them is it's definitely going to test your mental toughness of you're going to have days where you get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Then you have your days where you feel like that you should be the UFC champion. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone's going to have their down days. Everyone's going to have their struggles going along with it. But if that's something you truly want to do, you got to put in forth the effort.
Yeah,
It's
man.
simple as that.
All right, let's promote these fights.
Yeah.
Your fight's the one that's next, so let's
Yep.
start with you.
All right, so I got October 28th. I'm fighting for the first 145-pound featherweight division.
Now
The
you wanna say
inaugural,
first.
the inaugural belt down there for HDMMA. Fighting against an undefeated cat named J.R. Coffrin, which I'm actually really excited for the fact of this is the first guy who I'm fighting who is shorter than me.
That's impossible.
Right? That's what I was
It's a
saying. Like
lie.
I literally, we stood up next to each other. I about like stopped right there and looked at Reese. Was all like, "Are y'all playing a fucking prank on me right now? Like this guy is legitimately shorter than me, but he still has a longer reach than me."
Yeah.
Go figure. I mean, I got T-Rex arms.
Now, how
Like,
can they
for
watch
life.
it?
That's the unfortunate thing. The only way you can watch it is live.
Yeah.
Your fight, Tyler.
November 4th, Kansas Star Casino. Making my pro debut at 155 against Derek Clardy. It's a guy out of St. Louis. And I think if you come to watch this fight, you are going to watch like that.
A deformed witch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, we're switching to the Boogeyman the next fight. Forget that. Nah, man. Like, it might sound conceited, but why not? Like, maybe you'll be looking at a future UFC champ. I don't know.
Why can't we just start with EFC?
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
break
EFC,
it up
yeah.
first. We can start with the EFC. You can go wherever you want to go after that, but let's just start with the EFC.
No, shoot for the stars, maybe hit the moon. You know
always
what I
gotta
mean?
have your mindset on the top. I mean, if you don't want to be at the top, then why the fuck you in this game?
Yeah.
Now I'm a refer back. You said ego is a bad thing. Ego to me is always a good thing. You don't believe in yourself, who the fuck will? So I always someone told me a couple weeks like, good luck with your ego. I'm like, thank you, because my ego is going to be great because I believe in the shit that I'm doing. I believe the shit that I'm doing I do it very fucking well. I don't think anyone can do it the way I do it. They may have an aspect that they do well. Good for them. They should have an ego about that shit if they feel like they better than me. I feel like I'm the best at what I'm doing. I feel like when you guys get in the cage, you have to feel that way as well and respond that way. Because I will say, I don't know what it looks like to other fighters, but I think real fans see a weak fighter easily.
Yeah. Like, who wants to watch a guy that doesn't want to be there?
And at the same time, we do see an easy fight.
Or
I don't
he's
give a
like,
fuck how
I
exciting
might
it
lose.
looks. We know an easy fight when we see one. Right. So I like the fact that both of you guys like to take the fight. Just say yes. That's what Dave always says is if you want to fight, you got to just say yes. Say yes to the fight. If someone's putting a fight in front of you, they think that first one is the best one for you. Yeah. So take it.
Yeah, man.
Got a belt coming. You got a belt hopefully coming. You got to win this next one.
Yes, sir.
What should we expect?
I need to finish. I gotta finish. I should have finished my last fight, so I got ground to make up for.
You didn't finish that last fight?
Nope.
I guess I didn't watch the whole fight.
I mounted him a couple times, smashed his face a couple times, but he was a tough dude.
I used to say that about women. What should we expect with your fight?
I'm bringing that belt back to 316. It's simple as that, I'm bringing that belt home, and exactly what Ty said. I didn't get to finish my last fight. All my other wins are finishes. I gotta finish it.
It feels like you're in a deficit now, doesn't it?
Dude, yeah, absolutely. Like, I feel like I took a step back. Even though I got to win, I felt like I took a step back because I didn't get to finish.
My soul collection is a little light.
Exactly.
So I need to add to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm half ginger, so I gotta be able to cleanse
Oh, for real?
Oh, yeah, man. Dude. When I grow out my beard,
I don't trust you anymore.
It's all red.
Well, hopefully everyone listening liked this show. If they didn't like this show, I hope they kind of like this show. But if you didn't like this show, you can catch these hands.
Bro up the street said you were talking all that mess about my hands. Do you want these hands?